The FBI finally released an official witness statement on Diddy's wild parties, and the details are straight up shocking.
Have you been into these rooms where these
Man, I leave 30 minutes for the devil get there. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, there you go.
That's what Denzel told me. Leave 30 minutes for the devil get there. That's it.
Have you ever heard someone say, hey, after party XXX place, and you be like, man.
It's always an after party, but you leave 30 minutes for the devil.
If you thought the rumors were crazy before, wait until you hear what went down behind closed doors at these infamous events. We're talking next-level madness that's got everyone buzzing, so buckle up because this exclusive tea is about to spill.
What I will say is at one particular party, lots of big names, there was an artist there who said, hey, Lecrae, around 1 a.m., make sure you're not here. And I was like, what? You just don't want to be here at 1 in the morning.
Just when we thought we'd heard it all about Diddy's wild freak-off parties, new reports are coming in that the feds are reaching out to witnesses, and the stuff coming to light is way darker than we ever imagined. We all knew Diddy threw crazy parties, but y'all, this is on a whole different level. Insiders are saying that the feds are building a serious case around these infamous parties, and now witnesses are finally spilling the tea on what really went down. And it's beyond sick, even for Hollywood. There's talk about out-of-control behavior, with some people even throwing around words like satanic rituals and other disturbing stuff. Some even went as far as saying that Diddy used tapes from these parties to blackmail high-profile execs. Suspicious, right? And here's the kicker. Folks are speculating that Diddy being put on suicide watch might be because the big names he allegedly blackmailed could try to take him out, Epstein style. This whole thing is next-level terrifying. So stay tuned, because we're about to give you the full rundown on what went down at those freak-offs. Let's get real for a minute. People have been cracking jokes and making memes about Diddy's freak-offs and all those bottles of baby oil, but there's nothing funny about this mess. What we're seeing is a dark side of the industry that's twisted and dangerous. These powerful players behind the scenes will do whatever it takes to satisfy their sick desires, and Diddy might just be a pawn in a much larger game. Now things are getting even wilder. Diddy's name is everywhere, and you can bet there are some big names sweating bullets over what he could spill. If he decides to talk, the fallout could be huge. Right now, he's on suicide watch in a Brooklyn jail, awaiting trial for his alleged involvement in an EXT ring. According to reports, his mental state is shaky, so they're keeping an eye on him just in case. People are already drawing parallels to the Jeffrey Epstein situation. Remember how Epstein ended up dead in his cell and nobody bought that story? He had dirt on everyone, from celebs to politicians, and was running a dark blackmail operation. He would lure these high-profile folks to his wild parties, get them mixed up in shady stuff, and then use the tapes as leverage. Now, rumors are flying that Diddy might have been pulling the same kind of stunts. His freak-offs could have been more than just crazy parties. They might have been part of a deeper blackmail scheme. There's talk that he was bringing big names into these situations and using it all as leverage. With new details surfacing, the industry is in panic mode. If Diddy spills, it could blow the lid off a web of powerful people doing some shady things. The fact that he's on suicide watch has everyone on edge, and some are even speculating that the higher-ups he was blackmailing might pull an Epstein on him. We can't say for sure that Diddy was running a blackmail operation, but insiders are dropping plenty of clues about those freak-off sessions. The scariest part? It looks like people are getting silenced left and right for trying to expose what went down at Diddy's parties. People really don't know just how dark the industry can get. It's wild how folks are so brainwashed to worship wealth that whenever someone calls out a rich celebrity, they jump to defend them, saying the critics are just broke and jealous. But now that Diddy's behind bars, the narrative is definitely changing. People are digging up those old posts from folks who've been sounding the alarm about Diddy for years. So after Diddy's arrest, many had claimed that when Diddy was just starting out, he threw one of his infamous parties and invited all the top Jewish execs in the industry. But here's where it gets dark. Rumor has it he spiked their drinks with something that made everyone loosen up a little too much, and the party turned into a full-blown mess. Like that one time in London when he put a DJ to sleep. The tea is that Diddy supposedly recorded everything that went down and then used those tapes to blackmail these powerful execs. Word on the street is that he gained a lot of his early influence and power by holding this footage over their heads, using it as leverage to make big moves. Rumors about Diddy's blackmail parties have been swirling online for a minute. There's this independent journalist Ian Carroll, who shared several videos a few months back about Diddy's alleged blackmail ring, claiming it's been going on in Hollywood for decades. Diddy and that baby oil are just the beginning, y'all. Under all this drama is a tangled web of powerful folks mixed up in some seriously dark stuff. Let's keep it real. We've barely scratched the surface of what really goes down at those freaky parties. If even half the rumors are true, what we've heard so far is nothing compared to the real craziness that's still waiting to be exposed. People already gave their opinion on the matter, and boy, nobody would like to be in the Fed's shoes right now going through all the Diddy freak-off footage. I would never want to be one of the Feds going through all that video. I'd be horrified. But what is Diddy really going through right now? Let's see how his fate might turn out in the very near future. All right, let's dive into the wild situation surrounding Diddy, because it's starting to feel like a deja vu moment with R. Kelly's past troubles. Both of these music legends are facing some serious accusations from federal prosecutors in New York, and you can't help but notice the striking similarities in their cases. What's really eye-catching here is the use of the RICO law. This statute is typically reserved for organized crime, think the mafia, but now it's being applied to Diddy and Kelly. Prosecutors are saying these guys used their massive fame and the resources at their disposal to orchestrate some seriously dark activities while trying to cover their tracks. Even former federal prosecutors who were all over Kelly's case are pointing out that both of these stars are accused of leveraging their entourages to facilitate some really troubling sexual violence. Now, R. Kelly's already serving 30 years behind bars after being convicted of racketeering and sex trafficking, with ongoing appeals that could change his fate. Diddy, on the flip side, just got slapped with some hefty charges, including racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation for prostitution. He's pleading not guilty, but if the court doesn't buy it, he could be facing life in prison. That's no joke. One major difference in these cases: Kelly's victims were underage, while Diddy isn't accused of any wrongdoing involving minors. This could definitely play a role in Diddy's defense strategy, with his legal team possibly arguing that his alleged victims were down for the party. But let's be real. Those charges against Diddy are heavy, and they've got an eerie resemblance to what Kelly went through. Diddy is described as the head of his own crew, managing a whole empire with various businesses and employees. According to the indictment, this operation wasn't just about music and glam. It also involved serious allegations like sex trafficking, forced labor, and even bribery. Using the RICO statute allows the prosecutors to widen the scope of their investigation, bringing in a lot of evidence and past incidents. They can dig deep into Diddy's history, pulling in stuff that's technically beyond the statute of limitations. It's like they're saying Diddy's crew was not just there for the ride, they were complicit in everything that went down. One notable incident even includes a past attack on Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Cassie. While it's too old to prosecute, it's being used to paint a picture of Diddy's alleged behavior, showing a pattern of abuse that the indictment says is tied to the racketeering charges. The buzz around this whole situation is palpable. With Diddy's charges now making headlines, people are starting to connect dots and speculate about who else might be involved. There's a sense that Diddy is just the tip of the iceberg. And as more details come to light, it's likely that other powerful figures could get dragged into this mess. The key takeaway here is that while Kelly's victims couldn't give consent, Diddy's defense might hinge on the argument that everyone at those infamous parties was there willingly. They'll probably try to frame it as a wild scene where drugs and good times were flowing until things went sideways. So, this story is far from over, and everyone's keeping an eye on how it all unfolds. The music world is holding its breath as this drama continues to develop, and it's clear that there's a lot more to discover beneath the surface. Stay tuned, because the fallout from this could change everything we know about these stars and the darker sides of fame. The Diddy situation is evolving into a real-life drama that's gripping the music world. With serious charges on the table and whispers of a much darker network behind the scenes, it feels like we're just scratching the surface. The parallels with R. Kelly's case are undeniable, and you can bet folks are watching closely to see who else might get caught up in this whirlwind. As the story unfolds, it's a stark reminder of how fame can mask some deeply twisted realities. Keep your eyes peeled, because this saga is far from over, and you know we'll be right here to break it all down as it happens.